Hello, I'm Joseph Wronka, and welcome to Creating a Human Rights Culture, which calls for a lived awareness of human rights principles in our minds and hearts and integrated into our everyday lives. Thus, it aims to promote awareness of the human rights triptych, which consists of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights at the center. It is the authoritative definition of human rights standards drafted under the able leadership of Eleanor Roosevelt. That document consists of 5 crucial notions: human dignity, non-discrimination, civil and political rights, economic, social, and cultural rights, and the rights to solidarity. It is increasingly being referred to as customary international law, which all nations and peoples of the world must abide. On the right panel, in brief, are conventions which have the status of international treaty, such as the rights of the child, the Convention to Eradicate Racial Discrimination, the Convention to Eliminate Discrimination Against Women, and the Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities. On the left panel are implementation measures, such as reports of special rapporteurs, reports to United Nations monitoring committees, and world conferences. But again, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is the authoritative definition of human rights standards, which was drafted under the able leadership of Eleanor Roosevelt. This is the date, 72 years ago, when the United Nations General Assembly endorsed, with no dissent, nobody was against it, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document increasingly referred to as customary international law, which all nations must abide. So welcome to another episode of Creating a Human Rights Culture, which calls for a lived awareness of human rights principles in our minds, hearts, and in our bodies out there. I'm here with Dr. Irene LaRoche. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, who's put together a phenomenal program, who has engaged 8th grade students at Amherst, the H is silent, Regional Middle School, in a unique artistic and literary exercise, kind of poetry reading, which students are going to depict articles of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Well, she'll explain more about that, and Irene and students, go for it. Do your own thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We want to begin with an appreciation also for our longstanding, now 7-year partnership with the Amherst chapter of Amnesty International. It was their brainchild that we, Amherst Middle School, would partner with them to teach the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to our community, and we are honored to be a part of this process. And we have deep gratitude for their work and their partnership. So thank you. We also want to introduce the other teachers who are part of the Social Studies Department that worked on this program today. So I'm just going to ask them to say hello, so they'll show up on camera for you. Julie Grossman. Did Julie say hi?
Hi, I'm here. Sorry, okay. It's hard to press the button.
Thanks, we have to unmute. Okay, Jennifer Jensen.
Good afternoon.
Molly Sullivan.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
And Sydney Turco.
Hey, everyone. Welcome.
Okay, thanks. And Dr. Wronka, thank you for hosting us today. We appreciate being a part of your program.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
During our study of human rights in social studies class, 8th grade students compared the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the U.S. Constitution. This is a class called Civics. They found that some of the articles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are clearly in the U.S. Constitution, and some are not. Students used an art form called blackout poetry, where a text is marked to eliminate words. The remaining words form a poem, and often an image, to show the meaning of the human rights article. Using the primary source texts, those who had articles supported by amendments in the US Constitution made their art in black and white, demonstrating the clear recognition of this human right in the US. Those who had articles not clearly part of the US Constitution made their art in color and included words from the preamble of the US Constitution to signify the vision of a more expansive human rights.
Thank you, Dr. LaRoche. Social studies teachers will read the human rights article to give it context for our audience. Next, we will introduce students to present their poems. Let's begin with Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Caroline, will you please read your poem?
Sure. All human beings born free, equal, dignity, rights, reason, conscience, spirit of brotherhood. All persons in the United States subject to jurisdiction they reside, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, nor deny any person equal protection of the laws. Counting the whole numbers of persons, right to vote, any election, rebellion, no person shall engage in insurrection. 2/3 removes such disability. Public debt authorized by law not be questioned. Assume or pay any debt. Rebellion, loss or emancipated, illegal and void, power to enforce provisions.
Thank you, Caroline. Now we have Caroline reading Jordy's poem.
All human beings are born with a spirit and the choice to engage in rebellion, in suppressing. Together shall have the power.
Thank you.
I'll be reading Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation or sovereignty. Noah, could you please share your poem?
Thank you, Ms. Churko. Okay, so everyone entitled with no distinction on the basis of status to the privileges of citizens. And I chose to use fireworks in my drawing because everyone in the city with no distinction, everyone can see the fireworks. So I thought that everybody in the world can have human rights. So I use that metaphor.
Thank you, Noah. Yusa, would you like to share now?
Everyone is entitled all rights and freedoms, with no distinction on the basis of a person, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or any other limitation of sovereignty. No state shall make any law which shall abridge the privileges of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, or deny to any person within its jurisdiction in the equal protection of the laws. The Congress shall have the power to enforce the provisions of this article.
Next, I'm going to read Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. So here's Bet's poem. Daniela is going to read Bet's poem. Please.
Okay. No one shall be held slavery, prohibited involuntary servitude, and enforced.
Thank you. And here's Iris's poem. Yo is going to read Iris's poem. Yo.
No one shall held in slavery or servitude. Slave trade shall prohibited within United States.
Can I
Thanks,
just say
Iris.
something? You can
And
always
thank you,
count
Iris.
on Iris to have the best drawings.
Thanks. Thanks for the props there, Willa. That's sweet. Let's do the next one. Okay, Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. And Eric Chen is going to read, please.
One shall not impose cruel and unusual punishments.
Thank you, Eric.
Article 6. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. And we have Kota.
Person, law, citizens, privileges, life, liberty or property, right to vote, power.
Thank you, Kota. Next up is Hayden reading his poem.
Mine is much shorter than Kota's. Everyone in the United States is a person like you, and I drew a picture of somebody or two people shaking hands to show that they are recognizing each other as, people.
Thank you, Hayden.
Article 7. All are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration and against any incitement to such discrimination. Shad, go ahead.
All are equal before the law to equal protection against any discrimination, nor shall private property be taken for public use.
Thank you. So Article 8, everyone has the right to an effective remedy, competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him by the Constitution or by law. So Kira, would you please share your poem?
Everyone has fundamental rights, an impartial jury, confronted with the witnesses against him, a compulsory process, witnesses in his favor for his defense, law, value, and controversy. And then I drew that picture because I was trying to draw the justice system, and then I made a mistake and realized it's actually kind of more accurate because sometimes the justice system is rigged.
Thank you, Kira.
Okay, and Article 9. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. And Eamon, could you please read your poem?
Crime arising, public danger, himself deprived of life. A crime committed caused controversy. I chose to show a fist in the air because that is a prominent sign of the Black Lives Matter movement, and a lot of people know about it, and I thought it was a good way to spread awareness.
Thank you, Eamon. And Lily, could you please share your poem?
Hi. No one, no person, nor any criminal shall enjoy the nature of death. I tried to go for a star because I think in some cultures they think that once you die you become like a star in the sky or something like that. But I didn't. My marker ran out of ink, so it's not fully yellow.
Thank you, Lily, and thank you for being resourceful. Okay.
Article 11. Everyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty according to law in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees necessary for his defense. 2, no one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offense under national or international law at the time when it was committed, nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was applicable at the time the penal offense was committed. And next we have Vaishali to read her poem.
Everyone has the right, innocent until proven guilty. Public trial necessary for his defense. Secure their houses against unreasonable searches not be violated. No person held to answer for infamous crime, grand jury except in cases when an actual time of war. Nor any person same offense twice. In criminal prosecutions enjoy the right, speedy public trial, impartial jury. In common law, value and controversy, the right, trial by jury be preserved to the rules of the common law.
Thank you.
And Article 14, everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. This right may not be invoked in the case of prosecutions genuinely arising from non-political crimes or from acts contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. Willa, could you please read your poem?
Seek, enjoy other countries, right, prosecutions, non-political acts, purpose, United Nations, people, form, union, justice, tranquility, defense, welfare, blessings, ourselves. What's that word?
Posterity.
Posterity. Establish Constitution, United States of America.
Thank you, Willa.
Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or believe it in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. Alden?
The right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. To change, manifest, belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. No law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise, abridging their freedom of speech or the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition for redress of grievances.
Article 21. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives. Everyone has the right of equal access to public service in his country. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. This will be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. So this is Indigo's poem, and Willa will be reading Indigo's poem.
Everyone freely chosen, equal service. Hold on, I need to get it on the other side. Will, authorities, universal suffrage, shall not, abridged, enforce legislation, vote, power.
And this is Everett's poem.
Do you want to have Daniela read Everett's poem?
Daniela, please.
Okay. Genuine elections held by secret votes. The citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States.
Okay, Article 26. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children. And Liam, could you please read your poem?
Elementary education shall be available, accessible on the basis of the full development of the human personality. Fundamental freedoms, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and the activities of the United Nations. We, the people of the United States, form a more perfect union, provide common defense, and establish this Constitution of the United States of America.
Thank you, Liam.
Article 29. Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. 2. In the exercise of his rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others, and of meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. These rights and freedoms may in no case be exercised contrary to the purposes and principles of the United Nations. Thank you. We have Athena reading her poem.
We are the Union, every community which alone is right and free, one only to limit for the purpose of respect for others and meeting the requirements of public order in a society. The free may be the purpose and principle of the united. We, the united, form a union for the common defense and secure to ourselves and our posterity this Constitution. Basically, the reason behind it is since Article 29 is an article about freedom and liberty and development of thought, I wanted to make my poem about something which is the opposite of that, the union.
Thank you, Athena. Next up, we'll ask Julie Grossman and her 8th grade students to share their artwork and poetry.
Yeah, so we did a slightly different project in my class, also dealing with the UDHR. So the following is a sample of 8th grade students who used the entire Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the preamble to the Constitution, and the amendments to the US Constitution to create found poems. Found poems involve selecting and rearranging words from pre-existing documents to create unique poetry. These poems reflect the students' visions for the future of human rights. These poems describe the world that the students want to live in. So I have a couple from my class, so we'll have Daniela read hers.
Okay. The citizens of the United States, 18 or older, vote shall not be denied. The right to do a job and to join a trade union. Education should be free. Americans have rights.
And then we'll have Elizabeth share hers.
Everyone, all human, born free and equal. Secure blessings, limitation working hours, deprive person life, liberty. Children rights and spirit, brotherhood, right to rest, holidays with pay, privileges, equal protection. Born citizen, U.S., Constitution, United States, America.
And then Elizabeth is also going to read Ava's poem.
All human beings, born free, equal, in dignity, rights, freedom of opinion, expression, freedom to hold opinions. Because certain rights are not listed in the Constitution does not mean people do not have them.
One more line there. I don't know. Did you freeze? I think she cut out for the last line. There are more rights than appear in the Constitution. Awesome. That is the end of the slideshow.
Okay.
Simple.
So I think we want to do a big round of applause for everyone and their poetry readings today. Thank you so much. Let's do that.
Okay. I can't stop clapping. Good job. Great job. Thank you, everyone, Dr. LaRoche and all the teachers and all the students that were involved. This is great, fantastic. It will be, well, I'll certainly show this in my classes, and it will be on the internet, so you are all going to soon have international reputations, I guess you could say. So, so thank you very much. And everyone that's watching this, and also you, thank you for your attention. So take care of yourself and take care of others as needs be. I hope to see you all again at some time. Take care and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything to add or subtract?
I think it's great. I will say that I really want to appreciate Dr. Wronka again for joining us today and giving us our holding up a megaphone or a microphone, I guess, as you will, to share youth voice. We know how important it is. And every year we do this, it's with this theme of what kind of world do you want to live in? And you know it deeply, right? You know, the young people know what kind of world they want to live in. And we're here to join hands with you to make it happen. So thank you so much for your work. It was just wonderful to be a part of this honoring of Human Rights Day with you.
Sounds great. And thank everyone also. I hope to see you next year or the year after that, whenever. And all the best as you work to create a human rights culture. It ain't going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of barriers along the way, but just got to keep on trucking. So all the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.